Airmen and guardians strive for excellence and seek out the extraordinary. This is Life Without Walls. Conversations with airmen, guardians, and their families. Finding adventure wherever they go. Brought to you by the United States Outdoor Recreation Program, sponsored by USAA. What you're made of, we're made for. No federal endorsement of sponsor intended.
Welcome. I'm Elizabeth Newcamp. I'm the co-host of Slate's parenting podcast, Mom and Dad Are Fighting, and I write the homeschool and family travel blog, Dutch Goose. I'm also a military spouse and a mom to 3 littles, and I love to travel. Today, we are going to be talking to Karlei about her adventure in the Great Sand Dunes National Park. But I want you to tell us, set the scene of how you even ended up on this crazy adventure.
So this trip, we started at Scott Air Force Base, and we went through Kansas, down through Oklahoma, the tip of Texas, New Mexico, and up through Colorado, and then back around. 13 parks in 6 days.
Wow.
Yeah. Sand sledding was the thing I was most excited for. Of all the parks we were going to, it was the most interactive park. Do what you read about in the visitor center.
And what, did you ask the guy renting the sleds, did you get advice from him, or is he just hand me your money and I'm going to give you a sled, good luck?
We handed him the money and then he just thrusted it at us and we were so what do we do? And he's yeah, you get this little bar of wax and you rub it on the back. And you have to do that, otherwise you'll burn through the sled and you'll you might burn yourself if you don't wax it. We were can you show us how to do that, please, before we get out there and we just don't know what we're doing?
Does it fit easily in your car?
It's very wide. So it took up the whole back seat. And of course, because we went on 12 trips, so at this point, our car was completely messy with snacks everywhere. So we had 2 people sitting in the back, holding them up in their laps, just stacked up, because there was no other room for them.
Okay, you have to pick up the sled outside the park, and then you drive into the park, and obviously you have your wonderful, I'm assuming you use the National Parks Pass for the military, right?
Yep.
So that's great. If you don't have your military parks pass, go get it. It's free. It's amazing. So when you get out to the sand, now I feel people who've been to the beach, they know what dunes are, but can you really put these are not your normal dunes. Can you put these into perspective for people?
I mean, they are huge. When I looked at pictures of it, I was oh, they don't look that tall. We're used to a beach and all that. But I mean, it was 5 times my height, the smallest one. And the big ones, you're if they had a ski lift to get up there, that would be nice. Because by the time I walk up there, the park will be closed. Because they were huge.
Hiking in the sand is one of my least.
Yeah, no. And I completely underestimated it. I showed up and I was this is going to be so much fun. This is going to be great. And by the first little peak, the tiniest peak, I was I need a breather.
So you now you have to take your sled to the top.
I only did the second, the third smallest peak. And then my twin sister and my husband were brave enough to go halfway up. None of us made it all the way to the top.
And tell us, I think it's your husband had a particularly interesting run, correct?
Oh yeah, so we started going down forward, and he was cooking. He was probably at 20, 25 miles an hour at this point. And then he suddenly flips around backwards, and he's going down backwards, but he's still just holding on really tight. So we're all just watching him. And then as he hits the bottom, he tumbles over action movie style, just somersaulting down. The sled is still moving, but he's moving faster than the sled at this point, separately.
And are you at the top when this is happening?
I'm at the bottom.
You're at the bottom. Okay, yeah. You're just
I'm there's no helping.
You're on your own, man.
Yep. And he also chose crazy footwear. All of us had tennis shoes on, and he decided to wear Nike slides. And so then he lost a slide, and so I see my sister dive for his sandals. It's so windy, it's getting buried, and it was a hot mess. It was so funny to watch from very far away, though, because you just see them scrambling.
Did your sister have more successful slides down the?
It was the best one, because she learned very quickly that if you put your weight too far forward, you'll dig it into the sand, and then you will tumble off of it. So she was very good at leaning back. You have to lean very far back. And I'm not so great at that.
It's not at all. Is it at all snow sledding? This sounds like a whole different. It's a whole different thing.
For me, sledding on snow is so much easier because it doesn't matter where you're leaning because you're gonna pack it down and just go. But with the sand, if you lean too far back, you're going to flip backwards and your board will just be up like 90 degrees up in the air. If you go too far down, you get stuck in there and then you flip off forward. So you have to be perfectly in the middle. It is an art. It is an art that I have not mastered yet.
No, yeah. One of the things about this series is this idea that we as military families have this opportunity. What is your tip for finding these adventures or for getting outside or for other Air Force, spouses? They're at a new base. Like how do you find adventure and make this your new place home, or you've been there for a while? Like, do you have a tip for them for getting out?
I would just say try your best to like broaden your horizons. Because you never know, like I said, you never know what's in your backyard. So national parks are my thing. I love state parks too, anything that I can get outdoors, but I'm geared towards national parks. And my sister showed me the state park where they found mastodon bones the other day. And that was only 30 minutes from my house. So just to broaden your horizons, you never know what's going to be there. It may not be the great beach vacation you wanted or hiking a glacier, but fossil park is pretty cool too, if you just open your mind to those experiences.
Karlei, thank you so much for sharing your adventure with us. Like, I feel like you have inspired so many more of my adventures, and I'm sure the people watching at home feel excited to like get out there and see what's near them and give it a try, even if they end up on their face in the sand.
Yep, I've been there, and I hope everybody takes those chances to take an adventure.
Thanks for listening. This conversation was brought to you by Air Force Outdoor Recreation. Visit afoutdoors.com or your local Air Force Outdoor Rec program to discover your next adventure.